Hello, you lovely lot. How are you doing? Have I been kidnapped? Is the question. No, I haven't been kidnapped. I am actually moving flat. But believe it or not, everybody, I'm still trying to get the content out to you as much as I can. I hope you enjoyed yesterday's vlog. I hope you enjoyed yesterday's shorts, the instant match reaction from Ellen Road. I need to know from you guys if you want me to do that a little bit more. I could do a little bit more of the watch longs, the instant match reaction, which I think on this platform is a little bit what I'm known for in terms of going live and just chatting about the post match stuff and all the analysis after the game. But if you want me to do more in game, please let me know. As I say, if you enjoyed the content, slap a like on the video. If you haven't checked out the vlog, it was my first ever vlog and I thought it went pretty well, quite funny. And shout out Joe, who got me tickets to the game. If any of you legends can get me to some games, and obviously I will pay. I just unfortunately can't seem to get to a lot of the games anyway when it comes to tickets and stuff like that. So yeah, let me know. And also, I think it's great going with you guys anyway. Like I love going with Joe and his family. It's amazing. And I really want to get there with more of you guys. You know, obviously it's a good environment being there. And I think it's quite unique going with fans, meeting you guys. Shout out to Jay, who I met yesterday, who's part of the subscriber base. I met about 25 lads as well in the South Stand. So shout out to all of you lot who watch the videos as well. But yeah, really good game in terms of just meeting people, the atmosphere. It was more than just the result for me yesterday. As I say, meeting you guys just means the world to me. It's great. And yeah, please make sure you like the video if you saw me yesterday as well. But guys, just a little bit of bonus content as well. We are going to have stuff on the Patreon today. We're going to go through absolutely everything. We're going to be doing the 3 things live over on there today. And we're also going to be doing a bit of a reaction to Daniel Farke's press conference a little bit in the week. And we're going to start bringing those to the YouTube members as well. A little bit of bonus content there, but you can become part of the YouTube membership as well by hitting the join button. If you want to give us a one-off donation here on One Leeds FC, there is the thanks button. And as I say, guys, let's get into the Leeds United stuff. But before we start, I just want to, before I get into all of your comments, I want to start off on the game yesterday. I didn't do a live reaction. I didn't really get into it. And yeah, I just wanted to get into a lot of, the game and stuff. I was really surprised I thought Leeds would go out there and really steamroll them yesterday. And it wasn't that. Again, it felt like it was a little bit of a coming back down to earth from a brilliant performance at Cardiff. And we saw the exact same thing with battered Ipswich. We then had 2 consecutive games where Leeds were substandard, and were substandard again yesterday. I don't know, sometimes I feel with Leeds, the unfortunate complacency, in my opinion, can creep in a little bit. And, they think that maybe they can just do this opponent over. I thought Preston were right in the game. And fair play to them on that standpoint, because I gave them a bit of crap yesterday, I'll be honest with you, on the instant match reaction. Gave them a bit of crap on TikTok as well and all this sort of stuff. But overall, they came to Leeds and they got in our faces. And I'll be honest with you, it was probably the points, especially in that first half, I was nervous. I was very, very nervous as to what they're going to do. I thought they could nick something here, because I thought we were a little bit, maybe a bit too calm and composed, maybe a bit too laid back. And I thought, we're not going to get the job done here. And it looked like 1-1 written all over it yesterday. I thought there were some standout performances in there. I thought Gruev was excellent, combative, athletic in that central midfield spot, really good, getting in and around, and he's becoming more of a presence, evergreen in that midfield. I thought Junior Firpo had a really good game. I thought Dan James, we've got to talk about Dan James, and I want to get your comments in the section below, everybody. What do you think on Dan James? If you'd have told me at the start of the season Dan James was going to get 10 goals by January, I'd have gone, shut up. No chance. He's proven me and everybody wrong. He was the best player on the pitch yesterday for me. He was excellent, tenacious. And I love that about Dan James, to be fair to him. I'm still not convinced that it'll work for him in the Premier League. However, he's proved me wrong this year. I didn't ever think towards the back end of last year, Dan James is going to come in and he's going to save us at multiple points and be a big game player. And he was absolutely fantastic yesterday. Getting about. What I love about him is he's fearless. And I'm not saying he's got that quality at the end of it a lot of the time, but he's fearless and he doesn't care. He'll go at the opposition. He's just not interested in who he's up against. He wins fouls. He gets Leeds up the pitch. His defensive work's very, very good. And he's underrated, and he's proven me wrong. And do you know what? You can come on these channels, everybody, and be wrong. It doesn't matter. Football changes. Opinions change. That's life. I can't stand all these "I told you so" brigades. It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Football changes, people change, form changes. It's just how life works. So he's proved me wrong. He's proved many people wrong as well. Shout out to him. Bamford, I thought, was a little bit off it yesterday. I thought there was plenty of occasions where he was almost in those central space and he could have released Dan James and he could have had a strike, takes two time, meanders on the ball. And it's like what we've said plenty of times on this channel. When he's given time, when he's given space, when he has time to think, that's when Patrick Bamford is a bottom tier championship footballer. When it's instinct, Bamford is much better, much, much better. And I think we've seen that. Yesterday was an example of that. He had too much time to think in plenty of spaces. And I think that hampered his performance. There's one stage in the first half where he's going through, playing the ball to Somerville, everyone's screaming, play it. 3, 4, 5 touches, bang, tackled. Just play it, Patrick. He had the exact same in the second half when it came to Dan James. Just play it, Patrick. Doesn't. And it's those instances with Bamford where I still think we are looking, and we should be looking, definitely moving him on at some stage and going for that long-term striker that Leeds will be fit for purpose in the Premier League. So anyway, enough of my waffle. Let's have a look at some of your comments. Richard's in the building. Hi, mate. JC, legend. I wrote James off at the start of the season. I didn't rate his end product at all, but it's proved me wrong. Has been consistently good the last few games, so fair play. Long may it continue. Shout out to you, mate, for admitting that. His pace is frightening. Sujal says, DJ is a man reborn. James even got his own chant. Preston got what they deserve. Martin R, this is live, mate. I know we won yesterday, but we deserved to win, but we took a penalty. I know we won yesterday, we deserved to win, but took a penalty later on. Yeah, I agree. DJ was my man of the match. Shout out to everybody, the YouTube members as well, and just generally just people in the chat as well. Jamie, it was a very lethargic start to the game. Looked off it, but grew into the game in the end. If Ipswich lose tonight, says Kev, we be 4 points off automatic with so many games to go. So let's get into the game. Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody who's here, by the way. Hello. I have not been kidnapped, by the way. I know a lot of you hate my hairstyle as well, so this is becoming a thing now, isn't it? So yeah, shout out to everybody. You can see that glitter in the comments. But yeah, let's talk about Southampton. Let's talk about Ipswich. They're a runaway train at the minute. They're a runaway train. And I'll be honest with you guys, I said this on the Instant Match Reaction. This is going to be a bit more of a bumper live today, because we've got rumours to talk about, but I want to talk about the game as well. So slap a like on the video as well. Make sure you subscribe, check the YouTube memberships out, all that good stuff, and the Patreon. But I thought yesterday, if we drew that game, it was done. I was saying to Joe next to me, I was like, it's done. It is done. And I said, look, you're going to get people online saying to you the exact same thing, as they did with Crystal Palace last season when we were in the Prem. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. No, we've got X amount of games left, and I'd have arguments with people. I'd be like, "Look, guys, it's the trends are picking up here. The patterns are picking up. The confidence is on the floor. There's not big performers here, and we're slipping up consistently." My point with Southampton was the 20 games unbeaten. They've got tough games coming up, of course they have, but Leeds have got to be better than that consistently as well. Away games, we've got to be better consistently. Beating Cardiff and Peterborough away isn't enough of a litmus test. We need to be going to your QPRs. We need to be going to your Watfords. Yeah, we need to be going to Bristol Cities. These teams who are mid-teams, a la Preston North End, who we lost to away. Argument for West Bromwich Albion, even though people will say they're one of the better teams in this division. We need to be going to these teams and winning, not drawing, winning, to make up that gap, because we have to be consistent but better than Southampton, because we've got that gap to make up now. So this is what we need to be looking at. 18 games left. Kevin is bang on the money, but we need to be consistent. Yesterday, if we've been brutally honest, we got the win, but it was shocking. Shocking as in the standards that we hit for the Cardiff game. But it was shocking after the Ipswich game. Got West Brom, Preston, but the standards we hit with the Ipswich game, where they just couldn't touch the ball. This is what we can hit every single game. And I know we're not going to touch those levels every single game. I understand that. I'm not naive. But Leeds can get close to that, and we can be better than we were yesterday. Again, the problem is, with teams like Preston, the dirtiest team I've seen at Ellen Road in a long time, by the way, referee was hideous. Hideous. Worst referee I've seen. Worst team. One of the worst managers. I've never seen a manager perform and act like that on the sidelines like he was doing. It was almost prime Jose Mourinho at Porto. Unbelievable. Throwing his hands up in the air. As I mentioned on the vlog, there was a couple of times where Archie went to get the ball off him, just threw the ball on the floor. He's 17 years old, mate. It's like that Michael Owen clip. He's 13. Nice one, Michael. You scored past the goalkeeper. He's 13. But it was throwing the ball on the floor. Archie's there, it's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. I think he thought he was in a cup final. But overall, we're going to play teams like Preston. You know, they disrupted us when we went away. They bullied us, I thought. And then for fractions of the game yesterday, I thought they bullied us again. We were playing into their game. We really were. We were disrupting it with fouls, time wasted. And as I say, the referees were a joke. But we're going to face that more with your likes of your Coventries, your Watfords, your QPRs, who are going to disrupt these games. And they're going to look at that Preston blueprint. Because Preston have made it difficult for Leeds. You know, Preston have made it really difficult for Leeds over those 2 games. We need to recognise that. And like Southampton, we need to be better than them. We've got to be better than their results. You know, it's not just about them dropping points. It's about Leeds making up that gap. So when they drop points, Leeds win. When they drop points, Leeds win. That's got to be consistent. Yeah, and we've got to be very, very good, everybody. We've got to, I think, you know, you've really got to break 100 points this year to get in that top 2. I think that's how it's going to work, in my opinion. So you look at that, that's going to be a big task. It's going to be a big, big task. I'm not saying we can't do it, but I'm saying it's got to be better. It's got to be more consistent. Kim says, when I saw you going to the game, I was honestly afraid that we'd lose because of it. Kim, that's the wrong attitude, mate, because I haven't seen Leeds lose in about, 4 or 5 years. I think I've seen Leeds lose twice. I don't really see us losing. One was the playoff semi-final. Bradley, thank you, my man. Thank you. Mate, I'm nearly 31 years of age. I ain't receding. Come on. I think maybe that's it, Brad. Maybe I've just got a lot of bald people in the chat. Dan James always putting a lot of graft, but quality in the final third. Been poor this season, but he has put that right, and hopefully we can get another 10 to end of the season. Yeah, great. Agree, mate. Kamara was off, I thought, yesterday. I lost the ball. Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. You bang on. I thought Kamara was poor. I thought Kamara was really poor, and I think the standout at the minute is Gruev. But you can't say, you've either got to go Gruev or Ampadu, right? That's what we've got to learn. You can't put Ampadu and Gruev in the middle. They're too similar. It's got to be either or and Kamara, either or and Archie. Thought Archie was very good yesterday. Pete says, great job on the channel. What do you think our tactics, Connor? We seem to get stuck a lot and don't seem to have many thoughts in the final third. Yes, Pete, you bang on. I do think we get stuck a lot. Yesterday, that ball over the top, once again, we weren't doing it. We were not doing it. So that's what I find odd. When things have worked, when you've played that long ball above a press, and Preston were pressing. You know, they were in the first game. You know, sitting in a bit of a mid-block and they were pressing. They were congesting that midfield out a little bit and they were pressing on Somerville a lot. They were disrupting. They were kicking him. They were kicking us all over the pitch yesterday. But that's because they're not as good football-wise, so they have to resort to these tactics. So, tactic-wise, you can't get drawn into their game, which is what we did, which was annoying everybody in that South Stand and the game. We were getting drawn into their game a little bit, arguing, getting frustrated and not playing the proper patterns of play. However, what we were doing as well is we were neglecting the long ball. Neglecting it completely. Centre-backs weren't playing anything like that. Ampadu, when we've seen him do it in the previous 3 games, was rarely doing it. But when he was doing it with his left foot, fantastic left foot, by the way, Ampadu, very, very impressive. Clipping it down the line every now and again, and it was working. You've got to evade that press, and we didn't do that against Preston in the first game, because I believe Perot was playing, and you can't utilise any pace there or any sort of physicality. So, you know, I do think he's a bit of a luxury player, Joel Perot. Bamford will give you those hard yards and will wrestle with defenders. But I felt yesterday we weren't going over the press a lot. I didn't feel we were doing it. So you're not playing the long ball, so you're trying to play through them again. So when you start to play through them, it becomes easier for Leeds become predictable. And that's what we were yesterday. It's predictable. Playing the ball along the back line, playing it along the back line, doing that for 2 or 3 minutes and not really getting further up the pitch. So it's really pointless because you're not creating space going forward either. A quick knock over to Patrick Bamford, Leeds winning, the second ball's in and around Patrick Bamford. That has worked in the last 3 games. I didn't feel we did it effectively yesterday. Hi, Rajiv. Great job as usual. Saw an old video of yours. Andrea reply, you looked mortified and now I am happy seeing you. Mate, when... yeah, listen, when that guy responded to me, I knew I had to put it out really, but yeah, it was my fault. Remember, mate, that it was my fault that Andrea responded. Honestly, some Leeds fans. Season defining moment, yes, exactly. Spanish rider, it could have been. Gareth says, morning, Con, momentum is key for us, and we need to keep grinding out these results away from them. I agree with you, mate. I agree. A lot of good. Connor, would you keep playing Bamford or restore Pro? I'd keep playing Bamford. I just think we need to really start exploiting Patrick Bamford. So let's get on to the news anyway this morning, everybody. So the 25 million target is Manuel Benson. And listen, 25 million quid seems a lot of money. It seems a lot of money, but there's a lot of reports suggesting this morning that there is going to be a war when it comes to the end of this transfer window, when it comes to Manuel Benson. It's almost right now the sort of period of time before the storm, and it's a little bit simmering down. Leeds are winning the race a little bit, according to multiple sources. And as I say, guys, little premise as well. This is the rumour mill, but this could get to a bidding war. And the reason I put 25 million in the target as well, in the title as well, is because it looks like it could be pole position for both signings, including Chris Mepham to Leeds United. It's going to be Sheffield United versus Leeds United for that signature, but there is potential that Leeds could offer him a few more minutes in there. And Manuel Benson, so there could be a combined fee there. But according to multiple sources, this is going to turn into a war between Leeds and Southampton. Bid. Southampton have been chasing him all season. Leeds have come in with a late sort of a late sort of attack really on him, and they want to get him in the side. So who knows? Who knows how that's going to transpire? Mepham will be a top signing, but I don't see how that would work really. I don't think we'll get Mepham, to be honest with you. But Benson, apparently we're in a pole position, according to a few sources this morning. The combined fee between both is going to be 25 million if we were to get them on a permanent. Listen, do I think we'll get both of them on a permanent? No. I think Benson I don't know why that would be likely. I'd only see Benson come in if Nonso was to go. Nonso didn't even feature yesterday. Obviously, Anthony, we know the circumstances with Anthony yesterday, didn't feature. Perot came on, got his goal as a substitute, which was fantastic. Lovely little pressured moment there where he managed to get the goal. But overall, listen, I'm not sure why Benson would come. If I'm Benson sitting back, I said this the other day about Joe Rodon. If you're Joe Rodon in January, why would you come to Leeds? From a business standpoint, because Leeds may not be playing in the Premier League next season. Other teams will be playing in the Premier League next season, i.e. Crystal Palace and other teams there, unless they go for a tragic run of form and are apparently interested in Joe Rodon. So if you Joe, you wait, don't you? But overall, Benson, if he can fit into that right wing slot at Southampton, who potentially could be in the top two by the end of proceedings tonight, you look at that one. And then Leeds, currently, we are where we are. And yeah, we are chasing down, but I don't understand how many minutes we'd be able to give Manuel Benson. So this combined fee of 25 million quid for both players, Leeds being in pole position, is exciting. Looks like we've still got the pull that we have, but I don't get how they'll do it. I don't get how they're probably going to be able to offer him more minutes at Leeds United, Chris Mepham potentially, than a Sheffield United. But when Pascal Struijk is fully fit, there's no one better. I wouldn't have Mepham over Struijk. I'm having Struijk all day over Mepham. So then you're looking at a scenario where it's Mepham versus Rodon. And then you're thinking to yourself, well, hold on. If Mepham's not been playing in the back two, can he play somewhere else? Can he do a Ben Cabango? Can he play across four positions? No. So that's where it makes no sense. Makes no sense. And that leads me on perfectly to Ben Godfrey. Now, Calcio Mercato, I'm pretty sure Calcio Mercato, and I've been told this, listen to suggestions on YouTube videos and then make an entire article out of it. Ben Godfrey is apparently suddenly, out of nowhere, being linked with Leeds United. Very strange. We're talking about this. I'm not taking all the credit for this, obviously, but we've been speaking that on that premise over the last 2 to 3 days on the rumour mill, and there's been nothing on Ben Godfrey. And suddenly, Calcio Mercato are reporting that Leeds are in for Ben Godfrey. That I don't understand how that would work. Apparently, Dyche loves him a lot when it comes to Everton. Yeah, he's not getting the minutes that he's completely favourable to Ben Godfrey right now, but I don't see him coming back to the Championship. He's for me, he was a Premier League player, but yeah, as I say, it is interesting how some of these rumours start. I don't know. I think they just fly off the dome sometimes, especially when it comes to certain publications. That's what the rumour mill's all for, everybody. It's for chatting through these rumours, but it's a discussion, it's a debate. As I say, it's not confirmation mill. I'm not coming on here and saying Leeds are signed X, Y, Z. I'll do my best to follow up on the rumours for you guys, and hopefully that's my niche, my USP. But yeah, and I will do that, and I've done that with Benson before, and I've done that with a couple of Spurs targets as well, as you guys know. But overall, I don't see Benson or Mepham happening. I don't. I see a versatile person on that back four happening. I do. I see that happening, who can play right and centre back. Ben Johnson, I believe he played for West Ham yesterday. Apparently he was good. So once again, is that going to take him away from the Leeds United sphere? All right, Kieran, you can go back and have a look, mate. Shout out, didn't even see this, Michael. Shout out to you, buddy, becoming a YouTube member. We'll have a stream on the YouTube membership very soon. We're going to start doing reacts on YouTube membership. I like the Patreon being a little bit more informative and podcast based. Shout out to Joe, joined yesterday, Joe Stokes, on the Patreon as well. But we're going to have loads of episodes on the Patreon. I think we've got 5 stuff coming, 5 pieces of content this week, but we will have YouTube membership bits as well, everyone. Ryan Giles, yeah. Godfrey's versatile, but not sure about his quality. Yeah. Everton do need to sell this window in order to keep the lights on past April. So selling Ben Godfrey could be a thing, possibly, perhaps, maybe. Wayne, I agree, but are Leeds going to front 15 million plus for him? They're not, are they? And there's no way Ben Godfrey goes for anything less than that. Don't need a fourth choice winger. My mates bailed on me in the cheese wedge on Saturday FA Cup game. More than welcome ticket if you want, mate. Gilly, get in the DMs, mate. We'll have a chat about it. 25 million in the Championship. Wow. 25 million is a lot of money to be spending at Championship level, and the Premier League and EFL are clamping down on clubs reaching FFP limits. Newcastle will have to sell before we die. Nonso injury. Yeah. Lots of loans, I reckon. The comment section is buzzing and positive. Nothing like upbeat Leeds fans. If you guys want me to do that, if you guys want me to do I've never thought about doing a watch along for tonight's game, but I can do, which will be interesting. Good to see you live from sunny York. Hey, Rich. Giles linked to Hull. Yeah, listen, the difference with Leeds and a Hull, and this is what is marginally frustrating. We know Carvalho got the win. Hull are going to be in the playoff race, in my opinion. So there's potential that Leeds could be playing them at some point in the playoffs if Leeds aren't to get in automatic promotion spots. The difference is, and what you're seeing a lot of the time with Hull, is they've got, they're in for Benson right now because they can give him minutes. They've obviously got Carvalho because they can give him minutes. He was a match winner against Sunderland the other night, and they can give Giles minutes. And a lot of these clubs, as we saw with Eddie Nketiah, as Bournemouth are probably a little bit narked off with Leeds, as Leeds are probably a bit narked off with Bournemouth when it comes to Sinisterra, you can't really give them minutes when you've got players in those positions. Now, the worry for me is, and it's Jesse Marsh syndrome, this, because Leeds won the games against Liverpool and Bournemouth, and they kept him in the job. It was really, really reactionary. We know that. Leeds should have sacked him still. Yeah? The worry for me is right now, because we've had 4 good results, are the board, is Farker, and it would be very naive, are they going to turn around and go, well, we don't need anyone now. We don't need a left back. Look at Junior. He's had X amount of games. That's the worry for me, because Leeds have acted like that previously. And the 49ers can easily fall into that trap. And I hope they don't, but they can easily fall into that trap of just going, well, we've got Sam Byron back. We've got Junior Firpo on the left-hand side. We're okay. We've won 4 out of 4. Now, logistically, that makes sense. Of course it does. Look at where we're on the table. As Kev said, 18 games left, 4 points behind. Ipswich could lose tonight. The problem is that's not long-term thinking for me, because you're going to see Firpo injured, you're going to see Byram injured, and you're going to see dips in form. A proper left-back who's available week in, week out, which has to be the priority. If you can get a left-back who plays centre-back as well and can play right-back, listen, you don't want someone who is too versatile. You want an expert in their field. You don't want a jack of all trades. You want an expert. You want a master in one. But it's great if they're like Swiss Army knives and they can play right back or they can play left back, i.e. Ben Godfrey, i.e. Ben Johnson. Players like that, Cabango. Players who can play across that back 4. You've got utilisation there of not just one, but others as well. So, and that all comes down to speed, recovery pace, athleticism that enables them to play on either side. But also that's great when the centre-backs as well. So I would be really worried if they didn't get a left-back in. And for me, it would be very naive. And it would tell me a little bit about the 49ers as well. Not purely in a negative stance, but it would make me think, I thought these guys were completely ruthless and they had their head screwed on a little bit. And listen, they have. Of course they have. They're very shrewd businessmen. Of course they are. But it would make me think a little bit, okay, you've been a bit naive here, aren't you? You're being a little bit reactionary when we need to be proactive. And if we're not proactive, I still think it's going to hurt us a little bit. We have the litmus test wrap now, of course we have, but we've still not been in the top 2 this season. We've still not been in the top 2. We need to break that at some point. Shout out, Bobby. No chance we get automatics without signings. I agree with you, Bob. Yeah. Morning, Cole. Cole's in the building. All the members are in this morning. Morning, buddy. I'm late. Who's a 25 million player? It is going to be a combination of two, mate. Hit the replay. But yeah, we've spoken about it this morning. Any strong rumours for a number 9? No. No. No strong rumours whatsoever for a number 9. That won't get done, mate. There's no chance. Connor, it's just so Leeds for 2 or 3 players to go down injury with Feb. And we say, I told you so. Dan, listen, I'm not an I told you so merchant. We know YouTubers and content creators who are I told you so merchants. I try to stay away from it. You know, if I'm wrong about things, I'm wrong. Football, listen, things change in football. Of course they do. You know, form changes. You know, footballers might have things going on in the background. Things change. You know, being wrong about something is okay. But when you're looking at Leeds United, right, you take a step back. This has happened before. You know, so that's what I'm saying with the 49ers. I'm really confident in them. I think they've done a sterling job so far. But when you've got Southampton, Ipswich, and Leicester all strengthening, Leicester about to bring in Sensei, Southampton who brought in Joe Rothwell and are looking at Manuel Benson, Ipswich who brought in Blackburn's captain in Lewis Travis, and they've brought in Sami Ento and are looking for another striker in Kiefer Moore. These are additions that strengthen the side. If we're negligent, if we're naive and just think we're good enough, that's a problem. And the issue now is, and we've had this so many times before, but we've gone a bit of a January run and fans start to buy into that. Firpo's had a couple of games, so let's keep him in there. Let's not be proactive and go out and actually get a fullback who is going to play there week in, week out. Is going to be fantastic for us week in, week out. We've had good left backs previously. It's been a while, but we've actually had good standardised left backs there. Of course we have. But the club and the fan base, in my opinion, might not be in yours. You might think I'm naive and you might think I'm asking too much. I don't think I am with one player added. But I think the club are extremely, extremely naive if they don't go out and buy a fullback. I have real worries about Firpo breaking down, Firpo's form, Firpo's discipline, which has been an issue in the past. I think he's played really well yesterday. I said at the start of the video. I think he's been much better, almost found his level. But I don't rely on him. He's not dependable. Neither's Byram. You don't go out and do a fullback. It's a problem in my eyes. And they've not got long left. Morning, Connor. Got the haircut, I see. Yes, mate. Hey, Joe. Ooh. Don't mind that, BPCY. Don't mind that at all. Good ball knowledge there, mate. Yeah, Jim, that's kind of where I am with it. That's kind of where I am with it. It's suddenly you turn around in the ground and he is the best player since sliced bread. It is Firpo. And I do try. I'm being quite a hypocrite here because opinions can change, but for me, fundamentally, I'm very sort of samey with my opinions on players. They don't change that much. Form-wise, they can change, like Dan James as an example, really. Form-wise, fantastic. But do I think it'll work long-term with Dan James in the Premier League? No. So I don't really change on that opinion, on those sort of standpoints, really. But Junior Firpo, I think he's an average football player. There's much better than Junior Firpo out there. We've been linked with better left-backs than Junior Firpo, but he's done okay. He's done okay in the last couple of games. Let's see if he can do it. But does that mean Leeds then don't go out and get a fullback? Please, God, no. We need fullbacks. We need additions. Morning, Connor. Hi, Keith. Benson can play 10, he can. Imagine Firpo and Byron both get injured, which is a very realistic thing to happen. Yeah, 100%. It is very realistic. Promotion. Promotion is won when you are not at your best. Yeah, agreed, mate. And I guess that's between at the minute Leeds and Southampton. Leeds haven't been at the best yesterday, but we need more performances like that. I was speaking to Joe yesterday at the game, and he got it nailed on. He said the problem is when we're playing crap, we need to be winning these games, and there's not enough of these, in my opinion, away from home. We've been crap, but we've dropped points. And we need to start being more consistent. And 4 wins on the bounce is fantastic. Let's keep that up now. You know, we've got the beautiful thing about all this, everybody, is Southampton have a lot of tough games. They've still got Ipswich to play away from home. Southampton to play away from home. Leeds United to play. Ipswich, Leicester, Leeds United away from home. West Bromwich Albion away from home. I believe we've got Norwich as well away from home. these are tough games for Southampton, right? They've had a really good run of it in terms of the ease of the fixtures. I will say that Leeds have been much more difficult. The thing that unnerves me is they've had 20 games unbeaten. You know, I thought the weekend would be tough. Russell Martin going back to his old club, Swansea, good football inside. I thought that'd be a tough game for them. They were flat as a fart and still won 3-1. So listen, we were crap in my opinion when you know what standards we can get to at the weekend yesterday. But we won the game, which is really good. We're winning, but we need to start. That needs to knock on. We don't have to have world class performances, but normally performances are a sort of way of success. You know, if your performances are good, you're going to knock that wall down at some point. And I think, yeah, Southampton have knocked the wall down, but it'd be nice to see. Listen, the positive is they've drawn to some of the tougher games they've played. They've drawn. So that's positive for Leeds, but we need to make up that gap with wins. Down under service crew. Evening, Macca. Hey, mate. Is there not a better GK somewhere on this planet, tall, strong, and proactive? Mate, if I speak about the guy, I'm negative and toxic, so there's no point anymore. I'm just going to say he's the best keeper in the Championship, and his catching's got better, his handling's got better, his shot stopping's better, everything's better with him. Just say that, you'll get the likes. So that's what I'm going to try to do from now on. But yeah, listen, yeah, of course we could get better. Barley Mumba from Plymouth, yeah, great shout. Wayne, he's fantastic, isn't he? Bought from Norwich, obviously. But listen, the Norwich game, it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one. They've hit form. Norwich were always underperforming. You know, the likes at this level, Ashley Barnes, Adam Eder. I still like Kenny McLean at this level, and Leeds were in for him. You know, we put a bid in for him in the summer. Obviously, Onel Hernandez. I still think they've got a decent Championship pairing in Ben Gibson and Grant Hanley at the back. Listen, Norwich aren't a bad side whatsoever. They're not. Giannoulis, they're not a bad side. I believe he's still there. But, you know, this is not going to be an easy task. We know when we play Norwich, it's never been easy. Gabby Sara in the middle as well. This is going to be tough. It's going to be a tough game this weekend. And we come this week, I should say. We come through that. Brilliant. I'd be absolutely buzzing with that. As I say, if one of you guys have got a spare ticket, I'll pay you the dough and I'll come down with you. And I'd love to do that. But it's going to be a tough game. This is going to be one of the toughest games, in my opinion, of the season at home. It's going to be a real, war of attrition. And they have got quality. So Leeds have to be on the money. There's no complacency that's going to be allowed here. We're going to try to speak to Chris Reeve on the channel as well. But it's going to be a tough one this week. So we have to be on the money. I was Talk City on YouTube. Lovely bunch of lads. Yeah, they are top, mate. Some of the best people on YouTube talk Norwich City. Chris is a good friend of mine now. Really good friend of mine. So, yeah, he's a good lad. Listen, we're going to leave it there. You want some bonus content? Head on over to the Patreon. £4 a month. Shout out Joe, who joined yesterday. You want to watch more One Leeds content? You can go over and watch the Matchday vlog yesterday, the instant match reaction live from Ellen Road. YouTube channel memberships, we're going to be getting that up and rolling as well. Make sure you do that, £2 a month. Shout out to Michael Prentice, who just joined on this stream. Shout out to you, buddy. We're going to have the debrief tomorrow. We're going to have the Rumour Mill later on today, everybody. But we've got podcasts over on the Patreon. If you want to support the channel, do so. If you want a one-off donation, hit the thanks button after pressing the three dots in the section below. And we'll be coming to you with more content throughout the week, everybody. Stay locked in with One Leeds. It's been an absolute pleasure. Hope you're happy, healthy, and well. I'll see you in a bit.